Now, to introduce our very awesome guest today, this is his second time on the show. He is a new dad, a husband, a hell of a loan officer, the great and powerful Matt Dickens. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, man.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you back, man. I feel like we were just talking before the show. You were one of our first guests, and I think you were episode number 8. So here we are, creeping up to 200, and
damn,
yeah, dude, we're almost. We'll be doing 200. This will be what, like 190.
Next week will be the recording of the 200th episode.
Yeah, so I think this will be like 190.
I wasn't worth it for 200. That's okay. I'll be 195. That's
you're 95, 96. Well, I think 200. I think it's just gonna be him and I. And we're just gonna do kind of like a reflection, maybe like Q&A kind of thing. I don't know. We haven't really
so sick to get to 200. I mean, what's the drop off? You guys probably know that number. The average
20. Like you're in like the top, like what, like 10, like 2% if you make 20 episodes, or it's like 10 or 2%. It's like some small percentage.
I don't know. I just saw somebody post that he was in the top 0.5% of podcasters with only having done like 60 episodes.
Yeah, he's done 60 episodes and he's got, not giant following.
No.
So we're like, okay. So
and you guys have a decent amount of subs too. It's on YouTube. It's like 380 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I mean, we set a goal earlier this year to hit 500 by the end of the year. So, it's still not too late for that to happen.
Well, if I knock this baby out of the park, let's
go. Yeah. Let's talk about some real controversial shit and let's get in trouble, boys. Let's get some people really questioning.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So let's kick it off. We all got whoops on.
Yeah.
So let's get controversial here.
Yeah. Let's get controversial.
What's your sleep like?
Yeah. Who's got the lowest recovery?
Dude, I'm pretty good last night. Actually, I just got a brand new whoop yesterday. My old one, I think I cooked it in the sauna too much. I was wearing it, and I was figuring it out. I was like doing the math on it for a while when I was doing this before that tournament. I was doing the sauna cold plunge. I was in the sauna for roughly 2 hours a week, which.
It's a lot of time.
It's 2 hours at 200 degrees is 190 or 195 degrees. That's like an oven. So just go set your whoop in an oven for 2 hours and probably not going to work so well.
No.
And then immediately dunking it into 50 degree water. So
your whoop's like, I'm so sick of this Zach guy. I'm just gonna quit on him.
Well, my battery it would literally last a day and a half when this is supposed to be like a 14-day battery life or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it was when I first got it. And then all of a sudden, it just like the battery just tanked out of nowhere. And that's when I started doing the cold plunge and sauna all the time. And I'm like, I think there's probably a correlation here. Obviously, I didn't tell Whoop that. But
No.
Hopefully they're not listening, but I don't think so. Hey, if Whoop sees this, they blow it up. It might be worth it. I'll pay for an extra
That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Whoop's been a cool addition. Now, were you wearing that before the baby?
Yes.
So you really get to see
dun. Yeah, well, it's depressing. It's like, you need to get better sleep. You need to go to bed. It's 7:30. It's like, do you not understand?
I'm up every 3 hours.
Yeah. This child was born yesterday. Stop expecting so much out of me.
Right. So
there should be a setting for new dads.
Yeah, like just give me some grace. Give me a 90% recovery every night. I don't even care what the stats are.
I just need to see it. I need to see that thing green so I know I can move today.
I've won at something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got bags under my eyes. I haven't showered in 3 days, but I have a 90% recovery.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
I'm wearing that badge of honor today for sure. So how old is she now?
12 weeks today, I think.
Oh, dude. Yeah, so you're still,
it's an instant, right, though? Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, time flies. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then she's here. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it really flies. It goes fast.
Yeah. But in that, like, seriously, everyone, once they find out you're having a kid, that's the comment. It goes by so fast. Or when just random strangers see us at a grocery store or something. Oh, I remember when mine was like that little, now she's in college. So that's all I've been fed. And so I have reflected on that. And like, I don't want to be, obviously I can't really control time as much as I've tried, but I want to control the presence. You can slow down time in your mind if you stop and if you're present. And so I was talking to a friend about this the other day. It's like, I really don't want time to be in warp speed. I've really experienced that in growing a mortgage industry. And I understand how quick time can be if you're not really paying attention.
Especially when we're working a month ahead on everything.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But even when you have a kid, it's like you have an opportunity to really stop and pause. For example, if she's just on your chest and you're on the couch, you're watching football, literally during a commercial, click mute and just find the date, see what you're wearing, see what she's wearing, and just look at her and just literally sit in that moment in time. That's really helped me slow down the week. I don't know what it is, what's happening. I wish I was smart enough to tell you like what chemicals are firing. Certainly, I'm not going to give you that, but it's helped slow down the weeks a little bit. And just 12 weeks really does seem like it's gone by quickly, but I don't think it's that quick. Maybe it's because of those little practices that I've been doing. I don't know.
That's awesome.
No, that's a great practice to have, man. I mean, because you just gotta. She's not gonna be that little forever.
No.
You know, and it's weird. You know, when they, I've got a 3-year-old now, and he's running around and calling me names and being mean to me, and like it's like a whole different experience. And it's like, whoa, okay, all right,
Yeah.
so
the elbow.
exactly. Like it's just like one day we're best friends, the next day he's poopy daddy.
Yeah.
Like everything's poopy. We're at that stage.
Oh,
Everything's poop.
Yeah.
Everything's funny. Anything poop is funny. I don't care how old you are. I guess it's always a little funny.
It's always a good one.
Yeah,
But-
we're laughing about it right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he's at that stage right now where everything's poopy. You're poopy. Like that's just what he is. And so it's just crazy to see what because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that he was laying on my chest, and now he's
Pooping
3 feet tall, and and this morning I'm driving and I make a sharp right turn. I go fuck. He goes, Daddy, why'd you say fuck? Why'd you use a grown-up word?
Oh,
Because I hit that curb. What's a curb?
Oh my
God.
goodness.
And we're at the what and why. You just answer questions on every car ride from the beginning to the end. Daddy, why are there Halloween decorations up? Why is that one not blown up? Why is the spider blown up today, but it wasn't blown up yesterday? It's like, dude, I was like, buddy, I didn't live there. I don't know. We're going to have to go knock on their door and find out if you really want to know.
Remember, it's always just use my dad's old response: physics.
Physics.
Just
physics.
That's what my dad.
Is that what he said?
Whenever I'd ask a question, I keep rolling. He'd just be like, it's just physics. It's just physics.
And you're like, oh, physics.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I was finally, once I got to high school,
You
I'm
get
like,
to physics class, you're like,
Everything makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all makes sense. So what's been the biggest change in your life since she's been born?
I mean, leaving the house to go work.
You don't want to.
Well, I don't want to leave the house. That's for damn sure. But leaving the house with a purpose that is outside of my own. That's the life-changing mindset. Is this job was damn near a hobby for a couple years. And now it's like I'm actually providing for another human being. And my goal here, this leading thought is I'm going to be at some point in her life sitting on one side of the table. She's probably going to mess up, make a mistake. And I want to sit here and squeeze out purpose of her life and say, you need to do better. You're not meeting the mark. But damn it, I don't want to be a hypocrite in that conversation. So I want to be in that seat knowing that I've given my life my all and I've fulfilled God's purpose for my life. If I'm going to expect that from her, I cannot be a hypocrite.
Right.
And so every day from now on is just trying to lead by example. And because kids, it's a caught, not taught, do as I do, not as I say. And I've really taken that to heart. And that's created just a lot healthier habits out of me. So that's been the one life-changing mindset.
Yeah, because they always say, if you're the father of a daughter, you want to be the example for what she finds as a partner, and as a father of boys, you want to be the example that your boys turn into to be that man. And that's how I approach a lot of things in the way same thing is like, all right, is this something that my kids would be proud of? Like, would they be proud of me in that moment? You were talking about him saying fuck this morning. I don't know about you guys. When I drive with the kids, I'm a little bit more.
I am a reckless motherfucker when it's just me in the car.
Oh, for sure. But I'm
but
also
with them, I'm tended to.
Yeah, I'm a lot. And I'm a lot more aware of things, and I get pissed off a lot more when people are driving reckless. And like last night, this person I'm very close to getting into an accident with him. I'm like, you motherfucker. And Ollie in the background, you motherfucker. But,
yeah, son.
Yeah, I'm like,
You tell him, Ollie.
I'm like, Ollie. He goes, what? You said it. I'm like, you're right. And brought me right back. You're right. I shouldn't have,
Mm.
and that's not how you should react in a situation like this.
Love it.
And so there's always teachable moments, and you're never going to be perfect, and you're always going to fail. I fail all the fucking time with them, but it's owning those mistakes. Like there's been times where I've gotten mad at them for things and gotten on them, and then I come back and be like, guys, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten upset with you about that.
But that's it too. Is like those failing moments are the teaching
Right.
moments. How did my dad, when he failed, how did he handle
Did
that?
he come
Right.
back to it, or
Did he come home angry? Did he take it out on my mom and me? Or did he just wear it? Did he take responsibility? Did he change? That's the key
Because we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make a shitload of mistakes
every day.
But you got to be willing to know and acknowledge when you did make a mistake.
Can you
Yeah.
put your pride and ego aside
Yeah.
as a man and say, I messed up?
Yeah, we're not the mothers. We're not always perfect.
No, I
I don't know about you guys, but my wife is perfect.
She is perfect.
She makes no mistakes.
Yes.
Love you, Rach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean every word.
My ex-wife is an excellent mother. She makes zero mistakes as a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast on the way here, actually, and this kind of topic that we're talking about came up, and they were saying, in particular with daughters, like and just with children in general, like the best thing you can do as a father is love their mother,
Mm.
and show like that is, and show what a good example is of love, and what it means to be a good partner, because that's going to kind of set up the expectations for the rest of their life, for if it's a boy you're raising, like the man to be, and if you're if it's a girl you're raising, hopefully be an example for the partner that they choose down the road.
I would almost take it even a step further, even with divorce. I mean, we had Adam on here last week, and he, he's got 2 daughters, and the way he treats his ex-wife is very admirable, and very, and similar. We had a really good conversation because him and I are in the, with our ex-wives, but I think it's even probably more important for when you're divorced, because it's still a relationship that you have to maintain.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot harder too.
Right. And, you're not like, there's a reason you're divorced. So you're not always going to see eye to eye on everything. And it's going to be probably even more amplified. And just to be able to like take that step back, be calm, and be like, hey, this is how we need to communicate this. We can't be doing this, especially in front of the kids. We don't want them to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say even in divorce, still, you don't have to be in love, and you're not in love with them, but you still have to love
Yeah.
your ex-wife.
I love that, dude.
So
Really awesome. Love that. Well, dude, one other thing we were talking about is your vlogs, or your day in the life videos you're doing lately.
Those are
Dude,
sweet.
they're
man.
great. I'm like,
Thanks.
I see yours, and I'm
I'm
like,
like,
oh fuck, I need to do one of those.
Yeah.
Those look fucking cool. And how do you go about doing those?
Oh, goodness gracious.
What's the steps here, Matt?
I mean, so I'm doing one today, and they are so useful, and the engagement is great on them when you do these day in the lives, because it gives your audience a clear picture of who you are, what you do. And that's our job as real estate salespeople, real estate professionals, is I need to show my experience, my knowledge, my life to become a trusted person. So that was the purpose of these. But I also like creating and stuff. I enjoy making videos and showcasing a little bit of that creative brain. It's just the damn tripods. So I've tried
Damn tripods.
like I just live on these tripods. There's tripods all over my house. And it just, making little clips throughout the day. And they take a lot of time to edit.
Yeah.
That's the rub right now.
One thing I'm always like curious about, like for like one where you're like pulling out of the driveway in the morning, like shit like that. You're just like, fuck, you gotta put your camera.
Does he
back
really
up.
park, go back in the driveway and go out and get his car and put it? Yeah, no, he really does. Yeah.
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 Like those are the ones that I'm walking. I was like, I love the angle and I think it looks cool, but I was like, I know what the pain in the ass that this is to make one of these.
Or if you get the angle wrong, are you pulling back in and backing back out again?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I am, Pat.
Oh, fuck, I caught it wrong.
Or I didn't click the red button.
Click the red button.
I've had that problem a few times.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's Pat's fucking notorious for not
man.
hitting the red button. See that one over there? Pat's got one job. It's push that big red button.
Well, thankfully it's red right now.
It's
That's
red
right.
right
It's
now.
recording. We're good.
But and I've noticed like a trend on Insta specifically of these videos doing really well for everyone and anyone and everyone. Now it requires a daily post. And I've noticed a couple people just throughout all over the country, it only takes like a month of like 30 days in a row and they pop off. But damn it, doing it 30 days in a row
Is that what you've been doing?
No.
I was gonna say, because you've been doing like 1 or 2 a week. It
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah. And now, like, I've had a conversation with Rachel, my wife, recently on like making a more efficient process with it, because what I was doing is making the videos all day and then coming home and editing.
And spending an hour probably clipping it together.
100%. When I just got home from work and now I have to like not be present with her and SJ, the baby, I'm freaking sit on the couch editing videos. Like, that's not. But it's weird because to make these videos what they are and to be satisfied with them, I feel like I have to do it because I have to capture the moment that I think is most enticing in that setting. Like, what movement or something was I doing in the gym? Or like, what thing was I doing in the car? Like, what do I want to capture? Because let's say it's a 30-second long clip in one setting of me in the car. What 2 seconds do I want out of that?
Now,
Which is like such a perfectionism problem.
Yeah, well, and you're the one. It's of you, so you want it to look the best.
Like, what's my angle? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So is that the formula? Like 2 seconds on each clip?
Yeah, something around there.
Okay.
And then quick. I mean, we all
they're
know
fast
that.
transitions.
Yeah.
Because we have attention spans of
Yeah.
gnats.
Yeah.
No, but I think they're great, man. I think
Thanks.
They're awesome.
Yeah, you're killing it. So
Thank you.
keep 'em
Yeah.
up. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the one today because it looks like we'll probably be in it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. If you're worthy.
If we're worthy, if the podcast goes all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So you've been doing those for how long now?
I don't even know. I feel like almost a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost a year. And it's weird because like I get a certain advice. It's like, you need to post more mortgage content. It's like, dude, that doesn't get engagement.
Oh.
So I have two options. I can post something that literally makes me depressed because I get 1 like, which is so bad. Or I can post something that like goes off, you
Right.
know? And it's like, I'm getting 5,000, 6,000 views versus if I post a mortgage talking head, it's 1,000.
Yes,
So
it's the same way. Yeah. Well, like whenever I do, like we do the silly ones together, like those pop off, you know, get a few thousand views. And then like I'll do one of me, you know, talking to the camera and it gets, you know, a couple hundred or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So now I'm in this challenge of like, how do I stick with the lifestyle, day in the lives, but introduce more mortgage content without
Without making it the
sacrificing
whole
too
thing.
much entertainment and, you know, the integrity of the existing day in the life.
Yeah. I feel like
style.
if you just have like mortgage stuff kind of sprinkled in, you know, I met with a buyer,
Yeah.
buyer consultation. I had, you know, I went out to lunch with a real estate agent, whatever it is, you know, like I think it's just constantly, as long as it's like what I think is you just need to constantly be dripping on people, like, and reminding them that's what you do, you know, and that could be in a day in the life easily, you know, I just think that at least that's what I think it is. I think it's, for me personally, like I don't think people use me because they saw one video and they're like, oh, that guy right there, he doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. He's the real estate agent for me. No, it's like I'm just showing up in their shit every day. And they're like, oh, yeah, when they think real estate, like, oh, yeah, I got a buddy who does that, you know, and then like they'll pass me around to their friends.
100%.
And I think that that's more it than, you know, just you posting some incredible mortgage clip.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I might have done like, if you go and look at mine on Instagram, it's like 80% podcast.
Yeah.
And then the rest is either stuff of my kids or funny shit that Zach and I have done. And that's about it. I think the few talking heads that I did one and I turned it into a baby. So like those old E-Trade commercials. Yeah. Did one like that, which went off. That was a pretty good one. But other than that, any other ones that I talk about really like mortgage stuff, it's fucking boring. Mortgage shit is boring. Let's be real.
Retweet.
You know? Yeah. So nobody's going to sit there and watch it we were just having this conversation. I don't know how many times I've put talking heads out there about the Fed rate and how that's not a direct correlation to mortgage rates. I don't know how many times I've posted that out there, but same question. Oh, I saw rates were dropped 0.25%.
Time to refi.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But here's the thing though, too, is like, okay, but I want to be an authority and be known as a local loan officer that knows mortgage content, knows mortgage information, and can deliver it in a digestible, understandable fashion. So now I'm like, do I create another Instagram for just mortgage content? Which is like, dude, because I need another project
Yeah, I
and
need,
thing
I
on my
need
plate.
another
Yeah,
thing
just-
to pay attention to. Yeah.
So that's where, I'm kind of in this decision point of, is Instagram just the day in the life with mortgage content shown in the day in the life? And then my authoritative dialogue and information on the mortgage industry in a newsletter, podcast format, something like that. Who knows? But it's hard to avoid. It's hard to do something different if one avenue is working.
Right.
Yeah. No, I totally
And
agree.
are you drawing a good amount of leads from that stuff, or is it just more of recognition and people realizing?
I've noticed it's not like if I post, 2 videos in a week, I get X amount of phone calls, but I
Right.
will say activity breeds activity.
Mhm.
And the more I'm posting, the more the DMs are, kind of firing, the more text, phone calls, people reaching out, asking questions. There is an absolute
No, for
positive correlation with that. So I've been affirmed in that regard, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to see a lead per
Right.
X amount of
That's
posts.
exactly how mine is as well. Dude, I'm such a believer in that activity breeds activity, and I've recently experienced it. Because I think I was mentioning to you before we started recording, is I had I had a ton of business coming in toward the end of last year, beginning of this year, and I was I just really kind of sat back and laid off, stopped posting all the real estate content, stopped reaching out to past clients, stopped following up with people. Like, cause I just had so much coming in. I was like, I don't need to prospect anymore or do
Yeah.
any sort of lead gen.
Mm.
No. And then all of a sudden I sat around and I'm like, man, I'm having a couple slow months here.
Mm.
Like, what the fuck's going on? Oh, Zach, you fucking stopped
Yeah.
working.
You stopped the revenue generating activities.
Yes. And I'm like, well, duh. And now I'm like, okay, well, this was a big experience, like a big light bulb moment for me. I was like, I cannot take my foot off the gas like that. But then now I have, I've been consistently getting back to stuff for the last 4-6 weeks. And I mean, I'm busy as fuck right now, which is
That's-
great. It's
yeah.
what I want, and so it's just been really eye-opening moment that oh, if I actually do what I'm supposed to be doing, business really comes in.
And I love these opportunities too, because the slow periods really allow you to understand your process and really, if you do the right thing and reflect on yourself and how you were running your business before that and what was working and what wasn't, why did you get burnt out? Why did you feel overwhelmed? Why did you have to stop the revenue generating activities? When you're slow, if you actually take time and reflect on that, then you can build out better processes, kind of fine tune things to then make the next best step.
Yeah.
This is the growth. It's not a straight line.
It definitely, as long as it's staircasing up,
Yeah.
then going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I was curious too, because this has probably been the toughest year for me in terms of getting real estate agents to meet for coffees and meetings like that. Have you run into the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a really weird year.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, the first 6 months were insanely amazing.
Mhm.
I think I did $9 million in the from Jan 1 to July. And I felt the worst about myself. I felt the most overwhelmed. And I just literally, I emailed all of my owners, 3 of them, on a Monday morning in, I don't know when it was. Let's just say July. And I said, I feel like I'm in the car of my life, but there's somebody else driving it. Everyone needs to get the fuck out, and I need to get back in the driver's seat. Because where I'm going is down a path that I don't. I'm making the most money I've ever made, and I'm the least happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped all my coaching. I stopped all mentor things, and I took time just to really give God an opportunity to intercede and really for me to take a breath so I can make the next best step. So kind of a sidebar there. It's been a really weird year. I'm having the best year volume wise, but my revenue generating activities, specifically engaging with realtors, very little, very little. So I don't necessarily know if I can answer that question of, are realtors really not meeting? I've met a couple,
Same.
but
it's not like it used to. I mean, I was having 1, maybe 2 meetings a week with agents, and it's just hard. The one thing too is there's only a handful of quality agents out there that you would want to work with.
yes.
There's thousands of agents, but let's be real, even like I'll meet with new ones, but if they're like, you can tell within the first meeting whether they're going to have potential and stick or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so few, but there's also like way less loan officers, and the ones that are left are really fucking good, and they've already got these established relationships. So it's tough to kind of like, how are you going to break into that? Like, how are you going to try and take somebody away
100%.
So it's just like, that's great. I'm glad that you're loyal to your guy, and I respect that. I won't bug you.
Yeah.
And so,
dude, I think times are changing where, you know, the old school loan officer mentor is going to say, just dial.
Mhm.
It's a numbers game. Just dial.
Everything that I'm being taught is just call.
Yeah. But we live in a world where value is the premium.
Right.
What do I get out of this relationship? And so, do you have that? Like me saying I can do a conventional loan,
Right.
FHA loan, USD. No, that's not valid.
No.
What does Matt Dickens do that the other guy doesn't?
Yeah.
And how does that yield me more business
Right.
as a realtor? Now, and I wanted to answer that question. And so that's why I've really challenged myself. I've been working on some projects to be able to answer that question and then give me an excuse to go get coffee with them. Hey, I have this tool, this asset, this specifically first-time homebuyer course that has 32 videos on it, and it's going to be a lead generation tool for you. That is my excuse to then reach out to them. Obviously, I'm kind of using that as a crutch to like pick up the phone.
Right.
And a reason.
Something to call about.
Something to call about.
That's the hardest thing for me I've been making a lot of cold calls recently, and it's like people that I maybe met at an open house 3 years ago, and I got them in my database. And so I'm just like, hey, how you been? It's been a while since we've talked. I don't know if you remember me. I think we met at an open house, 123 Main Street 3 years ago. I don't know if you remember me or not. Just calling to see how you're doing. Did you guys ever end up buying anything, or did you guys end up making a move? Yeah. Oh no, we're still in the same spot. Oh, hey man, I just want to be well, that's great. How's the neighborhood been? I've seen a lot of houses been, still moving over there. You guys sticking around for a while? You just start talking, but it's not a great thing to call for.
Yeah.
But if I have something like in the past where I'm calling because one of my strategies was a while ago is like if I saw a house that, especially in like the 20s, 21, 22, when things were like going for way over asking, that was, boom, there's a reason to call. House 3 doors down from you just sold for $50,000 over asking. Just thought I'd call you guys and let you know what's going on. And most people are like, sick.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool thing to know. Like
you're literally, there's that common ground and you're calling about something. Instead of, hi, my name's Matt Dickens.
Yeah.
I sell houses.
Hey, I just had a baby. I need money. Can you?
Yeah, exactly. Like you need a reason to call.
Yeah.
Like that's like the biggest thing. That's the hardest part or the biggest challenge I come across with. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Thanks.
What you got with the.
You just got to have a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like most of the time, but that they're just like, oh no, cold call. And I'm just like, I must really fucking suck at cold calling because again, I know I don't like being cold called. And
but it's also like switching like, okay, I live in a world where there's only 24 hours in a day. I only really want to spend 2-3 of them doing a revenue generating activity. How can I make the most of these 3 hours? And so I can either call a random cold list of 500 people, work through that, or I can set aside a couple months to build out an asset to then convert on a way higher percentage for each of those calls. Like, I think that's the problem in the sales environment is just like, it's a numbers game. It's like, I feel like that is a waste of time. If you actually take a step back to then take 2 steps forward, it's challenging because you feel like you're not doing anything. Me in Canva and then making videos and then editing for a couple weeks on end seems like I'm not working. It seems like I'm doing like a creative avoidance, little busy thing, which it could turn into that. But if you actually build it out and finish the project and then deploy that, it's going to yield a higher conversion. That's really what I think we're all about is how do we make the most out of our time.
What you were talking about too, the videos, didn't you started that a couple of years ago, right? Or was it last year that you had the videos like, hey, if you take this class, you get a $500 credit.
Yeah.
Was that, and you're just building off of that now?
Yeah, that thing's trash. If you look that up, it's just like the most embarrassing thing. Which it's fine, right?
Well,
Fail forward.
Right. Learning experience.
Fail forward. And that's to my standards. Like you guys are probably perfectionists.
Oh, yeah.
I see that. I'm like, who the hell's going to be excited to call me after that? That's just my high standard. This is like, so I went to Mizzou a couple years ago or last year because I was fascinated to understand it. Like, are these college kids actually getting an education? Because I wasn't.
Mhm.
But do they really not know how to buy a house? And they don't. I don't know if you
No,
guys saw the
it's-
NAR
yeah,
report.
those are great.
It's 40 years old, the average first-time home buyer now.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Let's-
And so now it's like, I want to turn the 18-year-old into my client once they're 22. How do I do that?
Yeah. Well, I think, was it you that posted it today? I think I saw it was first-time home buyers are down to like 21% of buyers now.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's
Yeah.
the lowest that they've been in years.
Yeah. I posted on my
I saw
story.
that. There's something. I think it might be something similar to what you're talking about. But yeah, now there are more. The percentage is higher of investors purchasing property than first-time home buyers.
So it's only going to get worse.
Yes.
Well, and then I know that because if you want to come, I think I mentioned it next week is we got our social media lady coming in, and we're doing that seminar up here next Tuesday. But she posted something today that she's been working on. But like apparently Gen Z is supposed to make up next year 28% of home buyers.
Let's go.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's what I love about Guild is the amount of like programs that we have built for first time home buyers. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so
Why is that? I wonder.
well, one, I think it's because of the ramp up in loan officers taking to social media. And that's where we're getting those Gen Z buyers at. And there's so many loan officers out there now that are now posting regularly on social media that they're so, and they're becoming self-educated on this because obviously they're not teaching this shit in school, and that they're becoming self-educated by going to social media, that they're able to see this and realize, wow, it's really not that far out of reach for me. I don't need to wait until I'm 40 to buy a house. Like I can do this sooner. Plus a lot of these kids coming out of school now are coming into salaried positions that are way more than what it was when we first got out of college.
Yeah, I did the case study. I went there and I was doing like the man on the street interviews
those are
with these.
Those are awesome.
And it was fascinating because, I can sit here in my office in Chesterfield, I'm like, oh, the average college graduate knows nothing. I wanted to actually see, like, do they really know nothing? And I would ask, like, what's the average credit score you need to buy a house? It's like 875. Like, no. What's the average down payment that you need for a first time? $150K. So they give like a dollar amount. Like, they're so off base. It's very simple information. So that's what I've been working on, is to package that information to then turn these people into home buyers, instead of I can sit here and market to the existing home buyer pool, which is a strategy, but there's an obvious need in the market for these people to buy homes. And the thing that we're selling is real estate, like the most valuable investment tool in the world, specifically for a young adult. So I'm excited about
That's awesome.
the Gen Z,
Yeah.
like making them move forward.
Yeah, and what's cool about that is, if you do a great job with Gen Z, chances are this house that they buy is not going to be the first house the only house that they buy, and make them a client for life.
Right.
Then and then
That's why
5-6 years down the road when they're trying to upgrade to the next house, you're going to be the one they call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's been my target since I've been in the business, is first time home buyers. And I mean, they say the numbers are down, but I think I've done just as many, if not more, first time home buyers this year than I've done anything else.
Yep.
But like you said, that's a market that I want to go after because I know that my team and I are going to do a good job, and I'm seeing it. I think I've gotten more past client referrals this year than anything. Whether it's past clients coming back to buy again or past clients, I just closed 2 last week that were referrals from the kids that referred their parents over to me. We're starting to see that flip where it's not parents referring the kids, but kids referring the parents. And I think that's going to be a huge, especially because, I mean, let's be real, the boomers are still around and they're still going to make up the largest percentage of buyers and sellers. And they're still that old school handshake type client. They're not going to social media to find us, but their kids are. And their kids are going to be the ones now making that shift, like, hey, well, this is who you should talk to, mom and dad. Like, this is who, like, either I worked with or this is someone that I've come to follow that's been doing a great job and I think would really be able to help you with this. So,
and it's such a follow the leader age group.
Yeah.
You guys remember being in college?
Totally.
The guy that was doing something cool, everyone wants to do something cool.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know? So that's the body of people that are flexing to each other.
Yeah.
And like, go flex.
Right.
Go say you house hacked when you were 23.
Right.
And there's less friction there. If the 30-year-old household, the couple with one baby, like their friends, there's a higher percentage of their friends have already bought a home versus a 22, 23. There's a lower percentage.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And then
But the salespeople are like, oh, the average loan is only 100. I don't give a damn.
Right.
Give me the units.
Well, and I think the agents too, like if someone's thinking about becoming an agent, coming out of college, I think that would be a phenomenal time to get your license, especially if you've done a good job. Like we've talked about this a few times. Like I think the greatest thing that you can learn from college is learning how to network.
Yes.
Like, I mean, your education and all that, sure, whatever you're studying, but let's be real. My network is making me way more money than I did with my degree.
Yeah.
And than anything else. So like I always tell kids when they're going to college, learn to fucking network. Make as many friends with as many people as you can. Be the popular kid on campus. Know everyone, because that's going to be the most valuable thing for you, not your degree. Your degree is just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And odds are you're probably not going to even go into the field that you're getting your degree in.
Yeah, and we see that all day.
Oh, yeah, all day. I mean, I got a degree. I've yet to use it. Like
I mean,
all the jobs I've ever had has not required me to have a college degree.
It's crazy.
Right.
But have I sold some houses to people I went to college with?
Damn right.
Damn right I have.
Exactly.
It's just that's the network is your network, or what your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
It's like that's a very true statement.
Yeah, talking about value add. My thing that I'm working on now is becoming approved to be a continuing ed for real estate agents.
Oh, cool.
So now like some of these seminars that Brian and I have been doing every quarter, turn those into
CE,
like CE,
knock that shit
yeah,
out.
Exactly, and they'll be fun.
Yeah, just be an authority.
Yeah.
What's the CE requirements for you guys?
8 hours every year.
Okay.
Plus extra depending on the states.
Okay.
So like 8 hours for 3 of my license, and then the other 3 require an extra hour. So I've got 11 hours, plus Guild has a requirement of 1 continuing ed hour a month. So I've got 12 additional hours on top of that I have to do every year.
So you're a nerd?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm way behind on my Guild stuff.
Oh, dude, my owner has emailed me every other day. Like this morning, he's like, sign up and get it done. So I had to sign up for my seed.
Well, that's all done. We usually knock that out pretty quick.
Oh, did you, Pat? Oh.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I knocked out my CE in July.
I'll tell you. Yeah, seriously, get it done quick. Get it done. And so now it's time. Well, actually, now that it's open, because it just opened up, now I have to go in and pay for all my licenses and all that. But everything's done. So, but I'd recommend not trying to knock that. Like for me, historically, September is my worst month because kids are going back to school and all that. So there's really not, in the start of school, there's really not a lot of home shoppers out there at that time. So my September historically is usually my worst month of the year. So that's usually when I'll go in and knock out my CE.
Very wise.
Yeah. So
just
figure out what that.
Wait till
Figure out that
last minute.
Yeah. Once you've been in it for a
and get
while,
them all done.
figure out
2
what.
weeks
Figure out what.
Me last year, it was like Christmas. I'm like, shit. Merry Christmas. Got to do my CE.
Yeah. Got to knock this 8 hours out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Guild. I'm behind. I think I'm behind like 6 months on my Guild continuing ed hours that they want us to do.
Bad boy.
Hey, still getting my pay. They haven't stopped giving me my paychecks yet. As soon as they stop that, I'll knock those 6 hours out.
Yeah.
Might make sense. Might make sense.
Good reason to. Fuck.
So,
Yeah.
But
So have you had any crazy like stories this year from mortgage, like any deals gone awry?
Oh boy, no. What a question.
Yeah.
I had a seller just recently refused to close.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Shit like that.
No, I feel like something has happened. I mean, I don't really want to say this on the podcast, but I've had some annoying ass clients.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah, well, no, we won't. We don't have to discuss it. Yeah. So we can talk about it off air.
No, but so like I had this listing agent was a joke. But the clients were getting divorced, hadn't paid their mortgage since March, so way behind. Had zero, weren't making any money. And all of a sudden, the last minute, the listing agent threw in a receipt for windows that had already been paid. Yeah, already been paid. And saying that they needed to be paid at closing or the window people were going to put a lien on it, but they'd already been paid, so they weren't. And it threw off closing, and it took forever to get it off. My client, her daughter, and 3 grandchildren, because they had to sell their current house to buy the new house, were homeless for 22 days.
Dude.
22 days.
Homeless, like no home.
Yeah, they had to move into her parents' house.
Yikes.
Yeah. Could you imagine moving in with, well, again, she's a grandma already. So moving in to her parents' house. So the great grandparents with her daughter, and 3 grandchildren.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka style.
Yeah.
Everybody in the
Yeah.
same
Just
bed.
packing
Right.
sardines. Grandma, can you turn the air conditioning down?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my craziest one.
Yeah.
Well, you said it. You know, people behind on their payments. I've had several listings I've sold this year, and to my knowledge, in all my other years of doing this, my 6th year in the business, I've never had anybody. You know, I was selling a house that was behind on payments, but this year I think I've had 4 times, and so it's just like tells me like, man, times are tough out there for a lot of
100%.
people.
Well,
you
that,
know?
but like I think the things that people aren't remembering or thinking about is your mortgage payment can change.
Yes.
And taxes, I mean, the tax bills are just now coming out for everything, and a lot of places are pretty flat.
Yep.
But insurance costs,
Dude.
holy shit,
Dude.
it's insane.
I just had a consult with a couple that went under contract, and we got on a Zoom last night, and like, we're really excited about this policy. And I look at it, it's $4,800 a year.
Jesus.
I said, guys, you got to talk to my guy.
Yeah.
We got to shop. No, we've talked to 8, and this was the lowest. What are we talking about? Because of roof. I mean, all the roof issues.
Yeah.
Like, dude, insurance, but a success story. Is it a refi market? Not really for 80% of people, but dude, debt consolidation
Yes.
right now. Credit utilization is at its highest, and I'm saving a woman $1,500 in monthly cash flow by doing a cash out debt consolidation loan.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And her existing rate is 3.75%. I think we'll get her at 6.99. So it's damn near doubling the mortgage rate, but her monthly cash flow is going to be $1,500 better.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Those are credit debt.
Those are the refis that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was telling you before, is, you know, if they're in the position to do it, I mean, I've had 5 scenarios this year where people, I talked to them about that consolidation, and they ended up turning around and just buying a new house just because purchase rates are lower than cash out refi rates. So they've literally just basically traded homes. And so like the biggest success story of that was, literally they were sitting on about 150,000 in equity. And they basically bought the exact same, they sold their house and bought the exact same house. But we were able to go in and take them from, even though their monthly payment went from $1,900 to $2,700, after everything was all said and done, they went from having $5,000 a month going out and payments to lines of credit, whether it be a credit card, car payment, things like that, to $3,000 with the higher monthly payment. So yeah, that was most. I think on average they're saving about $1,000 to $1,200 a month on.
Yeah, that's
by
great.
doing that.
That's
Which
smart.
it's just
If you're willing, right? If
Right.
like the setup's nice and you
Mhm.
want to move and there's an opportunity to move in a nearby area or wherever you're looking, it makes sense. That's genius.
Now going back to the debt consolidation, what exactly is that, and who'd be a good candidate for that?
So a borrower that owns a home, has a high percentage of equity in that home, they have okay credit still, their scores are okay, but their balances on their credit card are
Right.
extremely high, and they've just been paying the minimums.
Yeah, because you're looking at, even on a good interest rate on a credit card, it's like 20%.
Yeah. So specifically this individual, she has $40K in credit card debt. And so we're basically increasing her loan by $40,000, but instead of that 20% on that debt, it's 7.
Got it. Okay.
So that's really as simple as the math is.
And you're
And-
paying all that off at closing.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's showing up to the closing. Her mortgage is going to increase by $40,000, but her actual household cash flow is going to improve by $1,500 because of that interest rate change on that debt. Yeah.
Okay.
So it really makes sense for someone that isn't going to sell their home at any point soon.
So essentially, they're taking the debt from the credit cards and slapping it onto the loan.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've heard that term before, and I was like, I don't exactly know what that is, so I'm just going to ask.
Well, so for all those, I mean, even
I just
so
want to know
for
exactly how it worked.
up until rates really started to drop this year, I would say that was probably 100% of the refis that were done.
Yeah.
Were debt consolidation refis.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, no, your equity is a great tool. The problem is once it's there, the really only way to get it out is by taking out a loan or selling your house.
Right.
And so, it's what's going to be, again, the either the debt consolidation or selling it and buying something new. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for everyone, but debt consolidation in terms of a cash out refi is probably going to be more likely for most people than it would be for them to try and buy a brand new house.
Yeah.
It's a great tool. It's one of the refis that I enjoy doing. Talking about refis in general, yes, rates are coming down, but like, I'm not a salesperson, so I'm not going to sit here. I feel very salesy when I push refis, and that's not who I want to be. I've got my team that handles a lot of that stuff, and there's no like set rules for refinance. Like, oh, you got to save 1%, or you got to break even in this amount of time. Everybody's different, and so, and the problem too is rates are most likely going to continue to come down. And so the way I look at it is like, yeah, people are refinancing now into the low 6s, but let's say rates only ever get to like 5.75, 5.5. That next refi really isn't probably ever going to make sense.
Yep.
So it's like, why not just wait until we see rates in the 5s before making that adjustment to drop?
I think this just really emphasizes the importance to consult with a mortgage professional because even us two sitting here talking about this, our eyes are glossed over because this shit's so damn boring. Right. But the headlines are so misleading. And everyone's like, oh, we should all wait to refinance, so I'll wait. Or we should all refinance, so I'll... Everyone's situation is so different. I literally have a scenario where this person should not do it. Yet this other woman, on the other hand, she's improving her household cash flow by $1,500. Right. She should do it. Sure. So everyone's case is so different. That's why you have to just... put it on your damn to-do list. Right. Like, cut the grass, call your loan officer. Just see if it makes sense for
you. See if it makes sense.
It's not going to cost you a dime to have a conversation.
No. We only get paid when you close.
Right.
Against the why you should work with somebody that's a mortgage professional. Maybe not someone that's salaried that does mortgages. Yeah. Because they don't care if your loan closes or not.
They sure don't. I've experienced. I've got to hang out with a few of those this year. It's never been... Those are tough experiences for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Especially when I, used to deal with good guys like you. And forgot to tell you before, we got our guy under on 2 of them. Like that's who
Joseph.
Joseph on 2 of them. I literally just
the DSCRs.
That's why I stepped outside.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, actually, we just got to accept the counter they're going to be sending over. But yeah,
unreal.
I'll send those to you this afternoon.
Yeah, that's great.
Just thought about that.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah,
that makes it worth it. All right.
Yeah.
My time here's done.
2 more in a contract.
The only reason I hang out.
So, yeah, dude, it's pumped.
Do you do a lot of those DSCRs?
I don't want to, but I don't know. Well, my name's, I guess, out there floating on like billboards says Matt wants DSCR loans.
Yeah. He puts those in his daily vlogs.
Yeah.
His day in the life.
I do them. They're great products for the investors because they write off a bunch. And so if we do the conventional option, they wouldn't qualify. So these are no income loans. And we use the property's cash flow versus the borrower's cash flow. Yeah. They're sick. I don't know. I've done 15 of them maybe this year.
Really?
They're hard. They're hard to do as a loan officer because we have to outsource the underwriting. So I'm used to my underwriting being literally in the next office over. So anytime I need them, I take 2 steps. DSCR, we outsource the underwriting. These people, I have a variety of investors, and none of them are in Missouri. And so the underwriting communication is a little bit different. So when I'm used to, having a short communication line to underwriting, and then that yields a short communication to the borrower, that provides a great environment for a good experience. DSCR, however, not so much. And so I'm used to, the high class, very high volume communication, but I don't really get those opportunities with DSCR because the communication is a little quiet.
Yeah, we've always had the broker side of it with those, but we've got broker side on a lot of things. But I would rather just refer them to somebody that I know that will do them than just put them through our broker. Because if it goes wrong, then I'm looking bad.
Yeah.
Like now I'm looking bad, and I would rather pass it along. But
you'd rather me look bad. That's why I'm doing it. Yeah, go on. Get the
Well,
point, Pat.
but we did just bring in some in-house programs for those, so it helps with keeping the underwriting close. But I look at them and I'm like, man, rates. Whew.
What's crazy is
they're about a point higher, right?
yeah, but also like what I really love doing, especially with these DSCRs, is these appraisals often come in way higher than the purchase price on these deals. And so what we'll do is they go into contract at, let's say, 200,000. Appraisal comes in at 210. I call the agent and I said, ask for a price increase of 210, but then get a seller credit of 10,000. And then we'll use that 10K to buy down the rate. Because these DSCR programs allow, depending on the investor, 6% seller concessions versus a conventional loan product only allows 2% of the seller concessions
on an investment.
That's right.
on an investment
Is
property.
it 3 on non-investment?
Well,
Is that wrong
like
about
a
that?
standard
Depends on down payment.
Yeah, primary.
So these are
Kinda like I
sweet.
know shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, there's so many avenues and lanes. But that's like I've literally had multiple DSCR loans at 5.99 this year.
Really?
Let's hope we can get that for our boy.
Yeah.
That'd be
That's
sick.
awesome.
Let's hopefully he's not listening because he's gonna expect that.
I think he knows I have a podcast, but
Yeah.
I'll let him know.
We'll just launch podcast after he closes.
Yeah, for sure. We'll just
Yeah, this
delay
will be out
one.
next week, so
Yeah.
he won't know.
He won't know.
Yeah.
Just tell him after the podcast or after the closing that. Oh yeah, by the way, I have
Oh,
a
we did a
podcast.
podcast with Matt. We
Yeah.
talked about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's great. He had a poor experience with his because a funny story about him is he was this is probably 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago now. He was talking with me and another agent, I think, and he ended up going with the other guy. Supposedly didn't have a great experience with the other guy. The guy kind of told him that the house that he was buying was, in great shape and all these things. And, then he closes on it, flies to St. Louis, and he's like, what the fuck did I just buy? And so he was pretty upset about that, had to dump a bunch of money into it that he wasn't expecting, rented it out for like 2 years. And then I ended up just listing that one and selling it. And so now he's going to try again on.
Yeah, to fly all the way from California to then find you bought a shit box.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I think these two that he's buying now will be much. That's what I was literally just talking to. I was like, this is a completely, just so you know, I'm serious. These are way better than the ones that the one that I just sold. So I was like, these are like, just like completely different products, you know, like different neighborhoods, different kinds of houses, like much better. So it's like, I think you'll be much happier with these. So
Do you like working with investors? I know for me, like it's there's with no emotion tied to it. It's just making the numbers make sense for them. Where with, buying a primary house, there's a lot more emotion and all that tied to it. Which one do you prefer, one or the other?
Depends on the personality type of the investor. So some investors are extremely organized. Some are the opposite. And I can only work as fast and efficiently as possible, which means I can only work as fast and efficiently as you allow me to.
Mm-hmm.
So it just really depends. Like some investors are like, why are you asking for my tax returns? It's like, you're borrowing $300,000. We have a right to understand how much income you make, So it really just depends. I love educating. That's why I love first-time home buyers. So I don't really get a lot of that in the investment world. But what I do enjoy about investment clients is if you do a good job, they'll stick with you because they want the easiest experience possible. And changing your loan officer every deal is a nightmare. So with a bunch, I have a guy, his wife makes like $300K on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
But they take a lot of write-offs. He played in the NFL as well. And we do a lot of these DSCRs because they're just the best product for them. And I think I've done 12 of them in the last 3 years with him. And we literally just did a DSCR loan in like 20 days because we've collected so much information from him over the years. Like it's so rinse and repeat, which is lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I like about it's kind of similar on my world too. It's like I like working with investors because typically they're not just buying one every 3-5 years. Like they're like I've got a guy that I think I've bought 7 or 8 with me over the last 2 or 3 years. I've got a guy buying 2 at the same time, right? Like our guy buying 2 at the same time. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And there are typically a lot. Some of them are a lot easier to work with because they know that they're buying something that they're going to have to put money into, or they kind of know what to expect there. But on my end, I guess there's a lot less emotion tied to it, but also the price points aren't nearly as high.
Yep.
I'm not going to say that that's the only thing that I like. I like working with primary residence buyers because they're just buy
Yeah.
bigger houses. But and I also feel like I have with the primary residence buyers, I have a way more of an opportunity to kind of create a relationship that and I see myself getting I think there's an opportunity for like more referrals and more getting into their network if
100%.
I do a great job with a primary residence buyer
Yeah.
versus an investor.
And like, to reiterate, like our job, like I put food on the table by closing loans. How do I close loans? Is I get leads. Like I need to maximize my lead inflow. Like at the end of the day, that's the job. So how can I make the most efficient process in that? And if one person yields 10 deals a year, lovely. That can either be through a realtor or an investor. So yeah, the investment, it's just a one-off. And if they're super unorganized, or sometimes like I love how much they know, but that can also work against you sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it just depends.
Totally agree.
Well, what is your outlook for what's to come? Obviously, we don't have crystal balls here, but what do you think we're going to see with the housing market and interest rates and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, for every December and January, I'm like, this is the year. I've said that 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And not much improvement. I think the data shows that there's not going to be a material change, just a slow trickle down, which I'll love. That's fine. I like what inventory's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely didn't see such a seller's market this year. Competitive homes had competitive demand, but that wasn't every single house, every single listing. We didn't see so much purchase prices over list price. So that's nice. I'm really excited for the Gen Z activity.
Mm-hmm.
And because they feel it too. Their parents are talking about it more, the recent college grads, of how hard it is just to survive, and the difference of income versus debt that we live in and the cost of living. So there's such an opportunity for that. So I'm excited to tap into that market even more and provide some information, and really hope to blow up the first time home buyer demand.
Yeah. Same. I think it's a niche that people often forget, just because they're not buying. It's not massive houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think along the same line, I think the first time home buyers are going to see a resurgence next year. If rates do drop, that'd be nice if they did, but if they do, I think we'll see kind of a repeat of 2020, 2021 with those more competitive offers, and driving those home values up. I think the one thing that isn't getting talked about as much as it should is the gray tsunami that's coming.
Yes.
With the boomers, and as morbid as it may sound, those older boomers are going to be starting to pass away, and a lot of these people, like, that's the one thing you don't see now too. Just kind of off topic, is people aren't living in their homes for 30 years and all that. Like some of these older boomers are. They've been in these homes forever, and then they've retired in place and things like that. And there's either two things are going to happen. One, we're going to see a massive influx of homes hitting the market, or two, the smart people are going to look like kids are coming out of college are going to be looking to buy their grandparents' homes.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be a smart move. One, do gift of equity, things like that, stuff like that. If you've got a family member that doesn't, not necessarily needs all of the equity for retirement, but it could be a way for families to get in, even if it's just gifting them, 3 to 5% on a conventional loan, or
they can do that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Family only.
Gift equity is like down payment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sweet.
That, and I think reverse mortgages are going to make a big comeback.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here, I'll toss you those, Pat.
That's fine.
Oh,
I'll take them.
No,
I'll take them. I mean, I'm going to have a beginning of the next year, have our reverse mortgage specialist. We just brought in, we're at the mortgage company. We just took over and brought in, but they were known for their reverse mortgages. That's
Nice.
really like, it was like 90% of their business.
Yeah.
And so we created an in-house reverse mortgage program for them. And basically all I do is take the application, get all the information, send it to them, and they take it from there.
Let's go.
And so, yeah, so it's a great like, and he was telling me, he's like, you've got people that own their home free and clear. Like, you can essentially take almost like a home equity loan of credit against it and use that as like an inheritance gift to kids to buy homes. So it might be a way for, people that are retired or that are of retirement age that are looking to give, part of their inheritance out of the house, or some of those older, the retired boomer generation, if they want to start buying second homes, now you can do a reverse mortgage on it to purchase the next one. And now you have 2 homes with no mortgages.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. There's just so many vehicles. It's like, and that's why I express just the dire urgency to purchase and own real estate in your 20s.
Get in
absolutely.
Now,
like, can you imagine a day where you sell a home at your age 35 and you owned it for 10 years? Like,
it's insane.
You have so much power and equity in that.
See, and that's the thing I wish, like, and this kind of granted, I was playing baseball and wasn't making any money, but had I come out of college and started a job, I would have hoped my mom, who had been doing this for 47 years, would have been like, you need to buy a house now, because that was 2010.
Oh,
yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Could you imagine having bought a house in 2010?
Yeah.
And, geez.
Starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really start from the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would have held on to that till now, I mean, you have hundreds of thousands in equity,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
Almost like, Mom, what?
Damn it, Mom.
Why didn't you help me out here?
Yeah.
Why don't you co-sign for me on something? Shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Thought you loved me.
Yeah. No, she brought me into the mortgage business. Of course she did.
No, yeah. I didn't know that she was is she still in the industry?
She retired in 17.
That's
Yeah,
great.
right before we merged with Guild, she retired. But yeah, she started a long time ago. She was with she started off with it was a Illini Federal Credit Union. She was the top VA loan officer Midwest, because all she did was people at Scott Air Force Base.
Wow.
Yeah. And then made a bunch of transitions and things like that. Moved over to Cornerstone. Was that 2012? She moved over there. And
Nice.
she was my business partner's assistant. So she took a step back from originating because she was at that age where either all her real estate agents were retiring or dying. So, yeah, so any deals that came in through her, she just put it underneath my business partner's name, and then he would just bonus her out at the end of the year. She wanted something heading into retirement that was more steady, like it was a steady paycheck, and then potential bonuses at the end. So, yeah, if they hit their numbers, their goals that they set at the beginning of the year, then she'd get a fat bonus at the end of the year.
Nice.
And so, yeah, it made it easy getting started. I did, she taught me how to do the income calculations, but I would all Nick and I would do was take the applications and collect the docs, give them to her. She'd work everything up and send out the pre-approvals. And all our job was just to go out and bring business in.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut your teeth. I love that.
Mm.
I feel like all top performing real estate agents or loan officers had the experience with they got into either the realtor position or loan officer position when someone mentored under somewhat mentied under someone that was balling.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a glimpse of what it takes.
And it makes you realize that it's possible.
Mm.
Like that's what it was for me when I first got started. It was my buddy Alex kind of took me under his wing. He's a few years younger than me. I think he's like 3 years younger than me, and he'd been in the business for 7 years, and he was killing it. And and I was like, oh, dude, this dude's practically my age, younger than me, and he's making multiple 6 figures a year. I'm like, holy shit! Like, and we're buddies. We're hanging out. We're drinking on the weekends, going smoking joints together, like doing like dumb kid shit. And I'm like, dude, if he can do this, like, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like it's possible. Like, he's just a normal guy. He just does the shit and figures out the right things to say and learns the lingo and learns the process and makes people like him. And because he gave me a piece of advice that still something I think about it anytime I do an open house, anytime I'm like going to a networking event, anytime I'm like gonna go meet new people. It's like he's like, dude, you're in this business now. You're a professional friend maker.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, I can do that.
I
You
love
know, and
that.
that's like, if you're in this business, you have to be a professional friend maker. I was like, I mean, that's a great piece of advice for anybody, in this industry. It's like people work with people that are their friends.
Yeah.
Make a
And
friend, make a sale.
that's the P word. Like, that's the problem that people have in our jobs is what they think the benefit is to make your own schedule.
Yeah.
No,
No.
no. You go to Starbucks. I go to Starbucks. Starbucks has a process every single time. It's consistent every single time. Why do I think that I can produce business by not having a process, by not having a professional approach to generate leads and convert them into closed business? And so the whole, I like to make my own schedule and I like the lackadaisical. It's like, that's your problem. That's why you're stuck, is you're not treating it as a professional job, and that's one thing that I love about this business. And I like to stand out is just do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I started seeing success, when I started taking it seriously. Like, I got my license in September of 19, but, I didn't really, consistently do shit with it until, February of 20 and then really March of 20 when everything shut down. And I was like, all right, well, I can't go wait tables anymore. I guess I'm doing this full time. And I just started treating it like a job. Soon enough, I had a few closings under my belt. Like, it didn't take that long when I actually started treating it like a job.
Yeah.
And, yeah. One thing I kind of want. Oh, sorry.
I was going to go on that line, like the few meetings that I have had this year, and just stuff that I've heard in the past, like talking about being professional. Like, what the biggest complaint that I've always gotten when I ask real estate agents, like, if you could change one thing about your current loan officer, or what is some of the problems that you see with loan officers, the biggest one is communication's number one, and doing what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, to be a good loan officer, that's literally all you have to do.
Yeah.
Communicate and do what you say you're going to do.
Yep.
And that's something I pride myself on. Like, hey, never missing closing dates. Like,
right.
It's amazing how that shit gets pushed, but communicating, constantly talking to agents in terms of deals that are under contract, letting them know where things stand and giving the updates, not just to my buyer's agent, but also just, hey, listing agent, just a heads up, just letting you know things are moving smoothly on our end, just so you know. And the amount of calls that I get, or conversations that I have, especially with listing agents, wait, what? Why are you calling me? Wait, you're calling me to tell me that things are that never happens.
And then the best thing is when 3 months later, it's, hey Matt, my name's Susan. Bob Smith referred me. I'm like, who's Bob? Oh, he's the listing agent on that one deal.
Yeah.
So that's just what it kind of full circle is optimize your experience.
Not even just that, but when my clients go to offer, there's some listing agents that I've done deals with where my clients won't even have the best offer, but they know that because I've called, or they know that they'll accept their offer, and it's been great. It's another avenue. Hey, we may not be getting business from them, but they are helping my clients in my business just because of just because of a fucking call every Tuesday.
Yeah,
fucking pick up the phone and say, hey, guess what? Loan's moving smelly. Hey, we're on pace for closing. Everything's looking good.
Right.
Hey, appraisal's been ordered. Cool.
Takes 2 seconds.
Yeah. 30 seconds.
It's just so important to be a man of your word, and just doing the shit you say you're going to do. You got to look at it if you had a friend that, every time you called them to, go hang out or meet them for lunch, and they showed up an hour late or 2 hours later didn't show up at all, you wouldn't be friends with them for very long after that. So it's think about that relationship. You have to have that relationship with yourself.
100%.
And, if you say, hey, I'm going to call you on Tuesdays and give you the loan update, or I'm going to, I'm going to go schedule these showings this weekend. We're going to go look at these 3 houses. You better show up and you're going to do it. Fuck, it's not that hard.
No.
But one thing I wanted to go back to, you said it a little bit earlier, when, you said in July, this past year, you kind of took a step back from everything. And I remember Pat and I, we kind of talked man, I haven't seen anything from Dickens in a while. Or I think I may have texted you and just checked in.
We both did.
And, one thing I just wanted to ask you is with that time away from social media and stepping back, what's something you learned about yourself?
Well, you guys reaching out was amazing. That really, that meant a lot to me. And it's not that I was in a crazy dark place, but something was off. Something was off in my heart. And I found myself just whack-a-mole, helter-skelter, not focused. and everything, the volume of life was so loud. And so I just needed to turn down the volume. And I did that. I have an amazing, not even a lone partner in Laura Miano. And I told her, like, yo, I need a month. And she's like, I got you. So everything kind of went through her. She provides a great experience, so I had no issue. And in that time, like, I had some home projects I wanted to work on. So I would just go out there, specifically build the deck, turn on some Jesus jams, some podcasts, and just get my soul right.
Zach and Pat show, we carried them through that shit.
Yeah, we must have.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. So the answer is Zach and Pat really got me.
Yeah.
And what I learned is, the absence of purpose and the absence of routine is the devil's playground. If you don't know what you're waking up for, and you don't know how to conduct your day, and you're letting the day pwn you, you do that over a month, over 2 months, over 3 months, over a year, you become unrecognizable. And so what I needed to do is understand what is my purpose, and then how can I build my life around that purpose? And that's what I've been doing now. And it's helped tremendously. It's helped me understand what things I need to do and what I don't know, what places I go, what places I don't, what things I say yes to, and just really be able to conduct my day in a fashion that is fulfilling. Because you guys probably know, you get to these seasons of life and you say yes to so many things, it's a waste of time, waste of conversations. You hang out with people that are a waste of energy. I think of my energy as like a phone charger, and you've heard this analogy. You either have my life is a phone. You either have energy suckers or energy providers. I had a lot of energy suckers, and that might not just be a person. It might be a situation. It might be a habit. And so understand what is sucking my energy and how can I replace that with things that are giving me life. So that's what the reflection brought me in that time.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
On that same line, with that and then becoming a new dad, we talk about manhood a lot on the show. How has your definition of being a man or manhood changed after going through that time off, having it, and then having a child, and where you're at today?
It all ends with honest self-reflection, and like what you said, doing the things that you say you're going to do. Understand what's good for you and do it. Because this world that we live in is filled with promises that do not fulfill. I need to rest. I'm going to go watch football all Sunday. That's not rest. I need, I need security, so I'm going to work my ass off. Well, then you get all this money that you don't feel secure. So it's, as a man, what is your call? And for me, success is fulfilling God's purpose for my life. Being a good husband, being able to leave work, come home with a smile on my face, regardless of what happened. And being a role model and a light on a lampstand to the people around me. Like, that is what I am here for.
That's awesome. Now, I've seen lately a lot. I mean, I think I've done it in the past, but would you say that you're diving more into your faith now than you did in the past?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's changed. I grew up Catholic. I grew up on the check the box on Sunday, a blind faith, honestly. And so if an atheist came up to me and said, why do you believe what you believe? The excuse that I have is, well, my parents believe it. Well, that holds no water to a person in India because their parents are Muslim or whatever. So we're on the same wavelength. So why do I believe what I believe? And so I've really dug deep. Why is the Bible a trusted source? Actually, look at it from an agnostic perspective. Is this a trusted source? And then through that, meeting God halfway, picking up the clues, and then a regeneration happens. Because I went through a long period of doubt of, I don't think it's real, but damn it, it's real. And God isn't here to just make your life happy. I had to figure out a worldview. What happens when you die? And where is that information coming from? And then through that, how are you going to spend your time on this earth? Because I believe that there's an eternity on the other side. And so what am I working? Am I working to fulfill my life here? Because I've done that. And I was checking boxes. Why don't I feel happy? Why don't I feel fulfilled? Well, I was kind of living a prideful, materialistic, empty promise life. And so now I've understood, like, if I work towards eternity in communion with Jesus Christ, I have the fulfillment. I feel peace. I actually do feel peace in the midst of chaos. Nothing's really changed. Like, I still have the same job, same problems, same fears, same anxieties. But because I asked questions on Christianity, and I changed habits, and I prayed, and I let God be the Lord of my life instead of me be the Lord of my life, I have received the gift of grace, and the perspective in the Holy Spirit and the peace that I have is what I was searching for. And I know I'm kind of on my pulpit right now, but
It's great.
Go for it.
it has changed me. And I'm forever grateful to God for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, that's incredible. And would you say that was the driving force of that month off and getting you moving forward? Is that when that change really happened for you?
I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was what I needed. I thought I just needed time. But one thing led to another. One podcast led me to another podcast, led me to another book, then led me to another group. Like, that's how the Lord works.
What was the first, like spark?
So there was a video, and I'll send it to you. Chad Robichaux had John Burke on the podcast. And do you guys know Chad Robichaux? There's a couple movies about him, and he's a Navy, I don't know. Let's say Navy SEAL. Maybe not. But he has this podcast, and he interviewed this man named John Burke. John Burke was an atheist. Got into a path.
Chad, does he have really long?
No.
Chad Wright.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
never mind.
He interviewed John Burke. John Burke is an atheist, but he stumbled into this career path where he started studying near-death experience people that have clinically deceased but are living now. So they died. And he started noticing that there was a very common theme on their experience when they were dead. These are people from all walks of life, all ages, demographics, religions, creeds, countries, all over the planet. And this podcast really opened my eyes on eternity and a worldview. And it was the first spark to like inch me out of my doubt. That podcast led me to another podcast from a pastor, Joby Martin. He has a very big church in Jacksonville. And some of those lessons and messages that he presented were exactly what I needed to hear. This is how the Lord works. Like, what your journey is going to be different. He's going to show you different videos. But for me, it was just picking up, not watching a podcast, part of my take. I was listening to the Christian messages, and it was one thing after another, and it was answering every single question I had. Your experience might be different, but mine was. Why did that happen? Because damn it, I turned down I gave God an environment to move. The devil keeps us. The devil is like, we think the devil is like just this person that's, he's got thorns poking out. That's the devil. No. The devil's your calendar. The devil is your desires. The devil is your ambitions. The devil is the people around you. He's using all of these things to amplify the volume, keep you distracted. And so I shut it all up, gave the Lord space to move. And then he moved. It's not something, you can't work your way to Christ, but you give him the opportunity to move. You got to give him the runway. And through that, I am a different person than I was on episode 8.
Wow. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, man.
Happy for you.
That's amazing. Because I'll be honest, that's something I kind of struggle with. To be honest, like I went to, similar to you, grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school for 12 years. And I just feel like I was just a check the box kind of guy. And to be honest, like I ever since then, I just have not. I've made no effort toward, like what I believe, because I
Mm.
really don't know what I believe. And now having two kids, and I'm like, man, I gotta probably figure this out. And like, how do I want to raise them?
Mm.
Like, what do we want to do? They've both been baptized, but it's like, what, like, what do we do? Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? We go to how do I want to raise
Yeah.
them as far as like religion goes? And something my wife and I kind of go back and forth on all the time, because she, her beliefs are pretty similar to mine. She's not like a hardcore Catholic by any means, and I I don't even know if that's what I wouldn't like. I don't know if going to the Catholic Church in particular
Mhm.
is the route that I'd want to go. I really just don't know, and I'll be honest, I have not put enough effort into it. But man, we've had a fucking enough guys in here at
Mm-hmm.
this point that have very similar stories to yours. That's like, man, there's got to be something. There's something to this, and I really need to just figure out what I believe. And just because I mean, it's there's like so many guys that we've had on this podcast and girls that the faith comes up, and I just feel like, oh man, I feel like I might be missing the boat on this.
Well, that's, I mean, like, do the thing like that Anthony and Reed challenged me to, like,
Yeah.
learn like what does spirituality mean to me. Like, I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person, and I didn't even know it until we were having the conversation that if we have a group that meets here once a month, if you want to join us, I can
Oh
send
yeah,
you the
you'd be
invite.
be a great
Yeah,
addition.
it's my business coach, Reed Lowe, a couple other guys, and we just sit up there and we've got this map. We talk about how we rank our physical, how much we put towards physical, spirituality, mental, financial, business,
Nice.
things, family,
Yeah.
different things like that.
Just
And
reflect on the past month.
so this, so what was that? Not so we just did October. So in September, we were having this conversation and we were talking about, how I forgave my ex-wife and how we moved past all this and all this stuff. And they're like, that's pretty fucking spiritual.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. I didn't, I believe in the higher, that there's a higher power than us. And I believe in God. It just, for me, like reading the Bible was like, hey, it's like, hey, this, for me, like I'm reading, I'm like, you're told to believe like this is this is facts, like stone true, like but from like me reading it, I read it as more like
Life lessons.
yeah, and
Parables.
yeah, and so so they challenged me for the month of October was to dive into that and to determine what spirituality meant to me, and so that's what I did. I mean, I spent more time on that than really anything, and it was a great month. And it was for me determining like, hey, it's the journey to get to where like the journey to be the best version of myself. Like we're going to have setbacks. We're going to have all these things. There are going to be these, like you mentioned, desires and things like that come about. But ultimately, what is going to lead me to be the best person? Because I had started, like I was going through a rough patch earlier this year with just the frustration of this business. And it happens every so often. And so like I sat down and I'm like, what are my core values? And so I sat down, I wrote them all out. And then like I was talking to my business coach and we were going through them and he's like, well, some of those kind of correlate to one another and they can be one and the same. And like, let's redefine those. And then that was kind of what led into the spirituality and this and that. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, I've read the Bible more in the last month and just kind of what the, and it's not so much because like my biggest thing was like, yeah, everybody's like, oh, well, no, what it says is how it's supposed to be. I'm like, well, everybody interprets it differently. Like I'm going to interpret something different than you because of how it relates to my life. So why are you telling me that I'm wrong? Because of that's how I'm reading this. And so that was my biggest thing was like, why, like, if I'm wrong, then why am I going to continue to do this?
Yeah. And
it took them like, no, you're not wrong. Everybody's got everybody reads it and sees it different. It's like going to two different churches preaching on the same thing, but they're going to preach it differently and based on that preacher and how he interprets it and everything like that. So once we started talking about that, I was like, oh, well then, yeah, I am because, I live my life by, what the Bible teaches, how to be a good person, why to be a good person, what those things to do and how to live your life. And like, I'm doing those things. I'm not going to, I feel like I'm not going to church every Sunday. I'm not doing this and that, but I am reading it, I'm studying it, I'm learning how to be a better person, and that's my journey through
Yeah.
this. And so I would say, that's where I'm at spiritually, is continuing to grow in that and grow in that faith to get to that point where it's like, hey, I'm living the best version of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you picking up the Bible is great.
Yeah.
I think all these things though, and what I noticed, there's a lot of books out there.
Yeah.
That solve mind problems. This is a soul problem. I had a soul problem, and picking up the clues for me, right? I was reading the Bible, pick it up. It's the most confusing document in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says, hey, there's a thing called a study Bible. I was like, what's that? It has commentary on every single page explaining every single verse. Okay, sounds good.
That's what I have.
That helps, but I don't trust what I'm reading. Why do you trust this? So doing the deep dive and listening to why the smartest person in the world is a Christian. I can sit here and poke holes in this damn thing all the time. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Why does he believe it? So that was helpful. But not only him, why do the majority of people on this planet trust this document over anything else? Doing that evidence. Literally, how was it translated over time? What happened? Why was it preserved? What is an original document? What is not? How did the New Testament fulfill, which was written after Jesus died? Why does something that was written as a evidentiary letter justify something that was written 2,000 years previous? How can I trust that? Why are there 600 examples of that? Why did that sustain 2,000 years of proof? How did that live? How did these documents live through 2,000 years in times of war, in times where things were not transmitted, where documents had to be preserved?
Right. How do these stories all stay the same? And
how do they all
not
stay
get
the same?
Telephoned down the line.
That's the biggest apologetic thing. Sorry to interrupt you. It's been translated so many times. Well, you're assuming that it was a telephone translation. I told Zach told Pat. Not how it worked. I wrote a document. Zach and Pat both translated this document. So it's coming from, these translations are coming from one source, not a linear telephone translation. And that's just a very, very detailed theological reason and support for the Bible. And that doesn't even scratch the surface. But I had to do the digging because I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. And we live in a world where we have so much available information, and doing the work, sitting down and listening to very intelligent people give answers to these questions. Because then something's going to move in your heart, That's it. And sitting down with a bunch of guys is great, but that approach solves a mind problem. You have to solve a soul problem, and to get to the belief of the Bible, you gotta first trust it. That's my suggestion of a first step. How can Zach trust the Bible? How can Pat trust the Bible and everything it says as it's saying it is, as a living, breathing word of the God who created you? Sounds insane. Sounds, for us in an AI environment, that sounds ridiculous. That there's an attorney on another side of death, that doesn't make sense. Like, it sounds as ridiculous to me as it does to you. But you don't logic your way to a relationship with Jesus. You got to first get an environment, set an environment, and let him move you forward. But it does start with trusting the Bible as the one sole truth. So
I got some work to
do. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Matt, one thing, with this podcast we like to think about is, this is kind of like a time capsule for us with our kids. And it's like something that, Pat and I, we talk about this a lot on the show, that like if something were to ever happen to Pat or I, it's like, well, both of our kids have a ton of hours of us talking
Mm.
on the internet that they could catalog back to, because I think it would be cool to go back and see what my dad was like in his early 30s. I've heard stories, but
That's awesome.
it's a different thing when you can sit there and watch hours of him talking on the internet. And fortunately, our kids will have that for us. So, we wanted to ask you, is what's something you would like, for your daughter to hear,
Mm.
in 10, 15 years from now.
Oh, there's so much. There's so
It's
much.
a hard question for sure.
I think it's to understand God's call for your life and then do everything in your power to fulfill that. And I know we've talked a lot about God and stuff, but I feel like I am the person who I thought I could be and wanted to be because of that. There was a difference. There was something off, like I said. And now understanding God's purpose for my life, I really hope she can get there.
It's awesome, man.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else we didn't get to that you wanted to chat about?
No, I mean, from mortgages to God, we
Yeah,
covered it all,
mortgages
boys.
to God, we got it, baby. New babies, mortgages, and God. Well, we end the show we weren't doing this, I don't think, last time you were on the show. So, but we end the show the same way. So before we get you out of here,
Yeah, tombstone game. Here lies Matt. What does it say on your tombstone?
Gosh, you guys got to prepare me for these questions.
we like it off the cuff, baby.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I mean, do people just fire off answers quickly? Like,
Some will do funny, some will do, but most people will sit and think on it for a minute. Rush.
a light on the lampstand.
Perfect.
Perfect, man. Awesome. Well, Matt, thanks again for coming in, man. It was so good catching up with you and hearing about everything you got going on. So thanks again for your time.
Thanks,
Yeah,
boys.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks to everybody at home that watched or listened to this episode. If you could click that subscribe button for us, that would help us out a ton. Pat and I are trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube before the end of 2025. So help us hit that goal. Even if you watch this past 2025, still hit that subscribe button. Help us hit that goal. Comment what you thought below. Share this episode with a friend, and we will see you next time.